Hi, we're still having that amazing chat with Wanjiro Gidiomi, CEO of BimaNet. So Wanjiro, what are some of the issues that you might have experienced with your land buying experience? Were there any?
No, the land buying experience, as I mentioned, was pretty smooth because we made the right moves. We had the right people handling our matter. We had lawyers.
Yeah.
And we did our checks. But I think more importantly is that it came from a trusted source.
Okay.
So our parents were behind it. Our parents knew this family that was selling the land that they've owned for generations and generations. So the initial transaction was pretty smooth and unproblematic.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know you mentioned before that in the process of holding this asset that you bought at a very nice price 14 years ago.
Embarrassingly nice price.
That was, I wish we could buy at those prices now. It's too late, but
yeah.
You've subdivided some of it?
Yes, we have. We've subdivided some of it, and we're obviously about to go to market, but that was where the problems started with the disposal of that property.
Okay.
It's when you're living out of the country and you don't have the right people to help you dispose of it.
Yeah.
You'll find a lot of jokers in this town. Oh my goodness. Everybody says they're a broker. Oh, they know people who can buy it. Oh, right. I know somebody, the name droppers. And obviously, because of the way we are conditioned, living out of the country, living in the diaspora, there's a way we do business. And I'm not saying that it's better than Kenya, but really, I live in Cape Town, and pretty much when we say we're going to do something, we do it.
Yeah.
So when you come and you're transacting with other people, you assume that when you say you're going to do something,
that you do it. Yeah.
That you do it. But yeah,
which is the way it's supposed to be.
Which is the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. So there are quite a few shocks that I had. People saying that they can dispose of it for you. The wrong land surveyors. There's a point where we even had the wrong. They mishandled the subdivision of the property, and a couple, actually about 3 agents who just took on the property and did not know what they were doing. When an agent also comes and tells you to give them a commission to sell, they want you to pay them to sell something that they have not sold. Then you know what, that's a joker. So I think. Now I've learned how to identify the foolishness around it, and so it's just going back to first principles. Yeah. Using professionals that I can trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and seeking knowledge. I mean, I
questions,
remember reaching out to you when we met. I've been watching a lot of your videos, and
thank you.
You watch. I think what you have done, even for somebody who is such an investor for me. You've clarified a lot of things to me that I didn't even know. As a lawyer and as an investor, I did not know some of the information that you share in your channel.
Sure.
And that's why I was reaching out to you, saying that, you know what, I trust Solomon, that I've never bought land from you. Probably just like in your same situation, but just getting the information based on your experience and knowing that you have got a solid brand behind Solomon Wangwe, Goshen Acquisitions is solid. I am more likely to be successful in the process of now releasing this property to get the money that I want to do other bigger things with money. Right. Yes.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that.
Yes.
It's something I wish I could say as often as I'd like to in public, but it's really the whole point of our YouTube channel and the whole effort to kind of demystify the process. It's not rocket science.
No, it's not.
It's just that people don't know.
Yeah.
And those who do take advantage of the other's ignorance.
Exactly. And especially taking advantage of the ignorance of those who live far away from the country.
Sure, yeah.
When I talk about trust, I'm not even talking about any more family. No. The dynamics have changed. When we were acquiring land so many years ago, I think there was still a level of, our families wanting to take care of our affairs, genuinely wanting to take care of our affairs. But the dynamics of Kenya have changed. the man-eat-man society has really become really, I just say, you know what, stay away from family and friends. They're not the ones to carry your interest, especially if you're in the diaspora, because we look like cheap meat written all over our faces.
Fresh meat.
You know, fresh meat. Lots of money to chow.
That really saddens me, but it's true. I mean, statistically, I think it's 60%. I've shared this before also. 60% of our customers have been defrauded before. And majority of those are by family members. Sisters, brothers,
very
even
sad.
Parents. Which I wish it wasn't the case, but it's brought on this need for people to think about their investment exercises in a serious way. And I've also said before, we, for example, do not work with agents or brokers. Informal agents, brokers, I've advised that if you're going to work with a third party to help you sell or buy, make sure they're a licensed institution.
Exactly.
So
and a reputable institution.
Yes, reputable. They have indemnity covers, they're bonded, and all these kinds of things which protect you as a consumer. And there's accountability. But for the most part, everyone out there is, you know, cowboy agent. They want 10% for introducing you or sharing a number, which I find to be ludicrous. And so it's also the reason that we only sell what we own. We never sell land that we don't own, because we refuse to be part of that mess. We find that it allows our buyers to hold us accountable as far as the process is concerned. If something goes wrong, you know whose neck to wring. And also it ensures that we are comfortable about the history of ownership. Because if we have to take ownership, we're going to tie up precious resource acquiring it. We're not going to do that with something that's wishy-washy. And so we find that it provides our clients that level of comfort.
And as an owner, you also have so much to lose, as you say. You've put down so much capital to acquire it. A broker has nothing to lose.
Absolutely.
They have nothing. They're not invested. They'll just go to the next person. They get their commission and they go to the next person. That's it. That's
well, I'm glad that you kind of avoided that situation. So,
but I came close.
Right.
Right.
Which many people, even from our own diaspora customer base, have not had the fortune of avoiding. So what would you say then to your fellow diasporans about that particular issue? What advice would you give them specifically around using someone else since they're not here? Do you have have you whittled it down to
it's very
do's
simple.
and don'ts?
Very simple. Go to a source that is trustworthy. And as I mentioned, it's not necessarily always family, but obviously you know your own families better than we know them. But go to a source that is trustworthy, and make sure that that source can also share with you the history of ownership. For me, the history of ownership of a property is very important, because there are a lot of, as George behind there is talking about, titles in the air. There are titles that are so questionable, how they were acquired, that you end up buying a property, and when it's time for, somebody comes and says that it's actually they own the property. It was either acquired in the wrong way. It was grabbed land. I think for me it just comes down to trusting the source of the information. But of course, use your lawyers. Use your lawyers to check. Even if you trust this guy called Solomon, you have to have a lawyer involved, a lawyer who's on your side to do for you the due diligence as well. Because obviously Solomon I assume he would give me a good history and a narrative of what you're selling to me, how it was acquired, but I want to check that information with my lawyer who I'm paying to do that work to confirm before I can even sign.
Absolutely. I mean, I might just add to that, because it comes up every now and then with our customer base, where they say, listen, I mean, wherever I'm not home, can I use your lawyer as well in this transaction, if in a situation where we're selling them something? So, as a property seller, that's a very convenient arrangement, because there's less back and forth.
Of course.
There's less parties to involve, and it streamlines the process. But strictly speaking, it shouldn't be that way. You should have your own legal team,
absolutely,
independently confirm and corroborate all the facts that we are presenting,
yes,
with our legal team.
Yes.
So just for those of you,
and it's not because I don't trust Solomon, because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's the right thing, and you know, as Ronald Reagan is famous for saying, you know, trust but verify.
Trust God but lock your car.
True. Yeah,
that's why we do insurance too.
Right. Trust is the first step, obviously, but then you have to verify, and that has to be independent.
Yes.
So for those of you in the diaspora, please make note of that. Don't take the easy way out. Yes, as a property seller, I'd be happy to accommodate that, but it leaves you exposed to some extent. Should I have ill will or shady motives, I could screw you up majorly if you're going to use my lawyer. Because think about it, in the event of a dispute, who is the lawyer going to defend more rigorously? It's
also a conflict of interest.
Absolutely. Even for the professional, there's a conflict of interest there.
You can't represent two parties to the same action.
Yes, that introduces complications for sure. So I just wanted to throw that out there for those of you, thinking about how to streamline the process. But I'm glad that you were able to kind of learn that lesson without necessarily losing anything.
Yes.
So, in the next episode, I'm going to ask you to give us a few more bits of advice around investing in property outside of Kenya.
Right.
Because I know you've done some of that.
Yes.
So stay tuned. You're watching Own Land in Kenya, and I'm Solomon Wangwe.